All right, so on a completely different subject, this has actually ironically come up a few times. We all coin roll hunt in one capacity or the other for picking up silver, picking up anything interesting that would stand out pretty good in your collection, or you could turn around, flip, and sell in the future and make a profit. We've searched those neat little Coinstar machines, the ones that unsuspecting consumers use to cash in loads of change and then get walloped by a big fee. Typically, it's 9 cents for every dollar. We've seen that. We've pulled out some coins on occasion through the rejection tray, which if a consumer doesn't check, they leave it there. So it's either going to go to one of two people, the actual store owners or, like a courtesy clerk bagger or a cashier that just so happens to walk by and pick it out, or just another customer that comes into the store. Another one, and it's not on quite the most important level, and that's the change that you see in tip jars. Okay, I've put together something here that's supposed to reminisce or be reminiscent of a tip jar. And we're going to talk about etiquette. We're going to talk about ways that, if you see something interesting, like, I don't know if you guys can see, I got a bunch of nickels in here, but I have this Buffalo nickel, which looks pretty appetizing. Buffalo nickels, the series at a glance, is one of the most popular that's being collected. And there's a lot of key dates, okay, that sell for anywhere from $10, $15, $20 upwards to several hundred, depending on what it is. Okay, so, if there was like a Type 2 1913S in there in a VF condition, that's easily a $300, $400 coin. So, getting back to what I was talking about, prefacing the tip jar philosophy, is sometimes you go into a restaurant, Starbucks, a small sandwich shop, that has a tip jar such as this, and you see something pretty interesting. You don't want to just go ahead and put your hand in there and try and pull out the coin. It's going to draw too much attention from maybe other customers, and you might get a little bit of a rough shod, as a result of it. Like, hey, what are you doing? They work hard for that tip money. And you're also going to get some pretty bad feedback from the owner of the store, the cashiers. So you really want to try and stay away from the practice of reaching into a tip jar to get something. You always want to ask. Okay, asking is, of course, the best policy when it comes to these things. I've come across many tip jars where I've pulled out a couple errors in my time, some cuds, die breaks, rim breaks, that sort of thing. I've pulled out some pretty interesting older coinage, Indian head cents, Buffalo nickels. I even pulled out a nice 1888 Liberty head nickel that actually scored at a VF kind of grade, and it wasn't corroded, which was, interesting because most of them are. So what would you do in the event that you saw a coin in a tip jar that you really wanted? Okay, there's a couple different ways to go, but I'm going to let you guys think about it for a few seconds, kind of come up with your own ideas. And so the question is, what would you do if you saw an interesting coin, whether it's silver or a key date, or, just something that you'd like to have? All right, now that we had a chance to kind of think about it, and whether or not you've done it before, there is an idealistic way of, asking whether or not you can have that coin. One of the things I like doing is trading tit for tat. Okay, hey, I would really love to have that nickel. And you can make up whatever excuse that you want to. My daughter collects this and that, or it's something that, I wanted because it looks old. A lot of the people, like at Starbucks, they won't care. They're like, okay, we'll just go ahead and swap it out with, a coin of the same denomination. that makes sense, and that's definitely a good way of getting a nice coin for face value. And the same can be said for half dollars and everything else, silver especially. You're going to make out pretty good. So that would be by far the best way, best methodology of trying to get something in a tip jar, because you're trading face to face. So a 5-cent coin for a 5-cent coin. Another such good idea is to, trade up, or kind of trade up in the store owner's favor. I would probably say something to the effect, hey, I really like that coin in there. It looks like something that my daughter would like or my son would like. Kind of make it up. If you are a kid who's like 14, 15 years old, I probably wouldn't be making that same statement. But hey, I tell you what, can I have this coin if I say put $1 in there? Okay, and they're going to say, well, yeah, why not? I would gladly trade a nickel or a quarter for $1. Okay, that would be another great way to go about doing this. And that would be number 2 on my list, because if it's a low dollar coin, you don't want to say, oh yeah, can I trade that for a $5 bill? It wouldn't make any sense. And in that case, you would just leave it alone. So those are the 2 best pieces of advice I would give you if you wanted a coin out of a tip jar, to highly encourage a swap. Okay, more than likely they're going to want to do that. And, you shouldn't have any problem just going in and taking that coin. And it's not going to be as deceptive as some people think, because you did make the effort of asking. And being polite, that's key. So, that's how to get something out of a tip jar and not bring too much attention to yourself. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and kind of interesting little quip.